Hola clase! My computer keeps bouncing on me. This video is going to talk about subject pronouns. And I know a lot of you don't like grammar terms, or maybe you are not used to using them in your English classes, but we really need to know them in order to be able to conjugate verbs and get better at our Spanish. So we're going to talk about what a subject pronoun is. A subject is really the person that does the action of a sentence. Johnny, the class, the teacher, the family, the dog, whoever's doing the action is your subject. Our pronouns are when we don't want to use their name and we just want to say I, you, he, she, it, they, we. So that's all it is. It's just using a subject pronoun. So I'm going to show you what they are in English and then I'll give you the Spanish. So right here, we always write our pronouns in Spanish, at least for the purpose of class, in the same order, because as I begin to teach you harder concepts, we'll use this same box or structure so that it's really simple for you to match up which subject pronoun goes with what verb ending or whatever it may be. So please make sure if you're taking notes that you put it just like this in the same order. We start off with a single person. This whole column is all single people. I, you formal, he, she, or it. That's just one subject, a single person doing a verb. This column is more than one person. So we, you guys formal, or in Spain, and they, okay? So that's how it works. Singular down one column, more than one person down the second column. And then these are divided by first person, second person, third person. If you're familiar with those terms from English, that will make it easier. If you're not, it's not that tricky. I've drawn my, really high quality artistry here for the person talking about themselves. The first line is I or we. Either case, I'm talking about myself or including myself. The next two lines are the second person, where you're pointing to someone, talking to them. So you or you guys. So you're directly talking to someone, that's second person. So you guys, and this one is only used in Spain, or you guys. We just have, so I wrote it twice because in Spanish you'll see that there's two different subject pronouns. And then the last one is called third person. We're talking about someone, about a singular person, that would be he, she, or it, or about more than one person, we would say they, or one object, they, okay? So one singular person, lots or more than one person, or two or more, okay? And then columns, first person, second person, third person. For some of you, the books, if you're looking at a book or looking at notes, some of these will not put this third line here and just say I, you, he, she, it. You'll see why I do a little bit later when we talk about conjugating verbs. So for me, it's easier to have it broken into 4 groups rather than 3, even though we're kind of repeating ourselves a little bit. Okay? All right, so let me give you the Spanish, and it should be straightforward. So to say I, we use yo, okay? If I want to say you, here we're in that single column again, one person, I say tú. That's if I have a friend, so this is the familiar form or the informal form. So for some people, they will consider family friends and they'll use the tú form. For other countries, your adults in your household should be treated with respect and they'll use a more formal form, usted. So it just depends on that. So the tú and usted are our subjects. They both mean you. One is familiar and informal. One is more formal, respectful. And then él, ella, and él. Notice that él has an accent. So does tú. So that's why they're in pink. Okay, ella, she, él, he. If you want to say it, you can pretty much use either one of those or just leave it off because it's obvious if you're talking about it. For example, I like the book It's Blue. We can just say is blue. I don't have to say it is blue. So we could go ahead and take off and not use an ella, él. So that's why there's only 2 there, even though it's also he, she, it. Okay. Nosotros, we, nosotros. Now, if you're all girls, you'll say nosotras. Okay. But if it's a mixture, girls, boys, or all boys, we use nosotros. Okay. Nosotros or nosotras with an as. Same with vosotros, it works just the same. Vosotros, vosotras. Vosotros is only used if you go to Spain, and it means you guys, and it's for your friends. So it's probably not a word you're going to use a lot unless you live there, because You probably won't have a group of friends unless you've been there for a while. Good to make sure you know it though, because like I said, I had no idea I'd go live in Spain for a while and I used it quite often there. But if you're going to leave one off or not focus on one as much, that's the one that's not as critical, okay? Ustedes, you guys, all right? This is you guys formal in Spain, but everyone else just uses it for you guys. Every time you want to say, or in Texas, you might say y'all, okay? My dad's from Texas, so that's what he uses. But it's you guys, y'all, it's just the plural form of you. And then there's ellas, ellos, okay? That's the they form, feminine, masculine. And if there's a group of girls and guys, always default to the masculine, so that's the ellos. So if you repeat, yo, tú, usted, él, ella, nosotros, vosotros, ustedes, ellos, ellas. Now, if you keep repeating that to yourself until it gets down really well, try to make a blank sheet of paper where you can make the 8 boxes and see if you can fill it in quickly. You want to get to the point where you just know exactly what these are and it's not something you have to memorize and think hard, because if you're going to talk to someone, you want to be able to say I, we, they, without having to think too much. So get to where you can do this really quickly, and it's going to make the rest of Spanish a lot easier. All right? Great. Thanks.